Hey everybody out there, this is Annette Dion with the Psychic News Network, and it is Monday night, August 16th. I always get confused. You'd think I didn't have a calendar, right? August 17th, right in the middle of August we are. We're heading up to a full moon in Aquarius. I got that wrong the other day. A full moon in Aquarius on Sunday. Now let me remind you that last month we had a full moon in Aquarius, but it was right on the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. Aquarius has to do with breaking down of the old structure to make way for the new. Boy, are we in the thick of it. It's been, I think it was 2 videos ago when I was looking at what was coming up, I said, you might remember this. I see breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. I think I made a little joke about it, that everything's breaking news, but I saw a lot of breaking news. That was the Afghanistan stuff. It's bad. We have to be praying. If you don't pray, just intend, send good energy, visualize a better outcome in Afghanistan than what we're seeing right now. It is absolutely horrific. I did mention the Coalition for Innocent Victims in Conflict. I will see if I can post the link for that. I did actually post that link on Linda G's comment section. I did do that. I hope she mentions it. So, yeah, I don't have a list of questions, but we certainly want to look at Afghanistan, what's going to happen there. I got a couple of hits, today. I think about these things all the time. This is a really historic time that we're living in, not good history, very tumultuous history, and coming up on 9/11, we all have concerns. I mean, we really do. We all have concerns. We don't want the Taliban to be stronger, of course. They're a lot stronger. We don't know what they have for equipment. So I think it's really important to spend some time pulling some cards on this. One thing that I have been saying repeatedly is that we're heading into a time, just overall, we're heading into a time where the women are going to be more empowered. So the thing that happens first is the suppression, the violence, the horrible, unspeakable, unthinkable things. It's a really tough test for us, especially if you're psychic, knowing what's going on with the women and the children in Afghanistan, to not be able to do anything about it. That's why I say pray. It's really tough. And several years from now, I see the women having power. Several years from now, I'm going to say 5 to 8 years from now, in Afghanistan, I do see the uprising of women and being empowered, like what happened when the U.S. went in after 9/11, and they did have the Afghan government was freer, not run by the Taliban, it's a lot freer. And women started to be able to not wear all those coverings and, be out on the streets. The time of suppression of women is coming to an end, but just like the time of white supremacy coming to an end, it's rearing its ugly head first, and it doesn't get much more ugly than what's happening in Afghanistan. It doesn't get much uglier than that. The guides just said the end is near, but I really think that just means the end of this darkness is near, and near is a relative term. There's no time on the spirit plane, so let's just keep that in our mind. Okay, so today I started to think about the Taliban and how they're going to run Afghanistan, and I got this sort of a sense that they don't know what the heck they're doing in terms of running a country, which was interesting, because I hadn't really thought about that too much. Like, I just see a bunch of thugs that have no clue how to run a country. So we're just seeing the beginning of this withdrawal of U.S. troops. I do see more troops going in, aside from the ones that already went back in to get people out of there, get, you know, the people from the embassies out of there and all that. I do see, like I said the other day, other countries intervening because of the humanitarian crisis. So in a way, this withdrawal that I didn't agree with, doing a withdrawal of U.S. troops without a plan, not even a little bit did I agree with that, and you probably feel the same, I would guess. I do feel like because it happened, and you know, it's too late to turn back and to change the approach, other countries will end up stepping in. You know, like Amnesty International, you know, there's organizations, not just other countries, but organizations will start stepping in. There were some organizations that I can recall, there still are, that invested, you know, charities and some companies that would sell products, and a portion of the proceeds would go to women, Afghani women who wanted to start businesses, and they'd get loans and stuff. I don't know specifically who those companies or organizations were, but I know they're out there. So my point is that there's a lot of people and companies that have kept tabs on what's going on in Afghanistan, particularly with the women. So they're not going to fall apart. They're just going to increase in power and get more. They're going to get more help to help the women. Getting in there and helping the women, that might be tricky, but let's take a look. Let's ask that first. Aid to the Afghans, humanitarian aid to the Afghans. How is that going to go? I see it being quick. I see it being something that happens pretty immediately. Like within the next two to 3 days, we will hear more about how aid is being sent to the civilians. And if you watched any of the news today, I saw a couple clips. One was the Afghan people chasing an Air Force or a military plane, a U.S. plane, trying to grab on. You know, some of them grabbed on and fell to their deaths. I mean, part of this is just reminding me of 9/11. It's interesting. That's how the world is working nowadays. So I'm just asking about aid to the Afghan people, the civilians. You know, I heard that babies are dehydrated, and it's just, it can't really, well, I can't say it can't get worse. I guess it can get worse, but it's really dire. All right, all these cards just came out, so let's see what they say. The Magician. Oh yeah, I don't care what Biden says. I'm dropping cards. Hang on. This one's way over there. Okay, got it. Starting to be my trademark, dropping cards. This is, I don't care what Biden says. He actually was caught off guard. I mean, I know he's getting up there and he's saying, we don't regret, we had to do this, we couldn't continue it, we had to do this at some point. I don't care what he says. The psychic says he regrets this. Joe Biden, I don't know. I don't think he's an out-and-out liar. But what he's doing is he's looking at the mess. I mean, he's very sorry about what's going on, and he does feel a sense of responsibility. I mean, he's the one that said we're just going to do this without a plan. The Two of Swords, yes, we're going to go through a time where we don't know what to do, but that's going to be a short amount of time. I think it's going to be less than a week that we're in a time of, well, it's only Monday, right? It's going to be less than a week that we're in a time of, we don't know what to do for the civilians. I see other countries too, like I said. I see other countries' military aid coming in to help the Afghan people to fight the Taliban. And I see, even though there's a little bit of a time where it looks like nobody knows what to do, because it's kind of caught a lot of people off guard, you know, caught all of us off guard. I mean, we knew it was going to be bad, but we didn't know it was going to be this bad. I knew it was going to be horrible, but anyway. No specifics. I just knew it was bad. The Magician card means that we will start figuring it out. Okay, now actually, I got to tell you that I feel the people that are spiritual, this is why I say we have to pray. The Magician is the energy of being able to turn things around and affect things. If you have studied like I have my entire life, for as long as I can remember, the power of the mind. Thoughts are energy. Your thoughts are energy. Everything's energy. The power of the mind to influence what's happening. You can influence what's happening by focused intent. Collectively, when we focus on, let's see the Afghan people getting aid, let's see people rallying, let's see the Afghans getting their power. The Magician is saying that we can affect what's happening there. We can make it a little better, maybe a lot better, if enough people are on board. I mentioned Church of Spirituality, my church on Facebook. If you go to my timeline, just Annette Dion, go to my timeline, you can see that we did some praying about what's going on over there. Okay. All right, so I do see aid for the civilians, and I do see it's not going to take very long before there's a rallying effort from different organizations and different countries too. This is a stain on Joe Biden. This is a big stain on Joe Biden. I'm not really sure how he's going to wash this stain away. Reminds me of Shakespeare. Was it Hamlet? It's like the one where he kept washing the blood off his hands. I don't know. I got to brush up on my Shakespeare. Joe Biden, he's not having a good day. He's not going to have a good couple months here. Can't fool the psychic. He's bluffing, saying he's okay with what happened. He's not. Okay, next. What should we read on next? Okay, I do want to read a little bit more on that. So let's see. The people will get aid. What's going to happen? This is my other question about Afghanistan, and then we'll go to something else. There's plenty to talk about. My other question is the Taliban really going to be able to figure out how to run a country? Because you know what? They don't know how to run a country. They know how to be terrorists, but they don't know how to run a country. So how's that going to go? I actually see them failing, if it's any consolation. I see the Taliban failing. Okay. I mean, right now they're like, oh, look what we do. We're in the presidential palace. Remind you of anything? I'll get to that. This is, okay, so I'm reading on the Taliban and how they're going to be able to govern. This is, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's a serious topic. The Ten of Swords, they're just going to yell. They're going to yell. They're just going to yell. The Taliban is going to yell. They're going to try to run the government by yelling at each other. It's kind of weird. Everybody, I don't think that they're going to last. I don't think the Taliban is going to last in government. Now, remember I said the other day that I saw them taking Kabul, because we were right there where they were on the brink of taking Kabul, and I saw them taking it like 3/4 of the way. I don't think they really have the whole entire city. That's my psychic impression of Kabul. I think it appears that way, but I see some energy there that means they're not going to be able to take over the whole palace. I know their president left. I see something happening with the Afghan people, that they are able to get some of Kabul back. I really do. Foreign intervention is how. And lining it up. Taliban is, they're not going to be able to run Afghanistan. They're not. Let's let this play out a few days and see. I'm not saying it's not a disaster, but I am saying there's a lot of variables here. Okay, what should we read on next? COVID, DeSantis, I told you guys it was going to get really horrible in terms of the children, the poor children. We got to start thinking about the children. This is devastating. They've run out of ICU beds in Texas. They've run out of ICU beds in Nashville, Tennessee, where I used to live. I'm from Massachusetts, but I used to live there. This is going to wake people up. Darkness reminds us of light. This is going to wake people up. This COVID is going to wake people up. The guides are showing me people moving away from these Republicans in droves because of people dying from COVID. Those governors that are saying no mask mandates not allowed, it's starting to look like a dictatorship, and people won't like the dictatorship when people are dying. This is people dying, particularly the young people. That will push the Republicans that have been supporting DeSantis and supporting Abbott, which I don't know why anybody would, but anyway, there are people out there. There are people out there, this is what we have to understand. There are people out there that will just do the wrong thing for the sake of saving face, which is really stupid, because they will support heinous policies and support 45 and all that and deny the insurrection ever happened and all that. They will not mend their terrible ways out of a sense of needing to save face. Like, they don't want to be wrong. They don't want anybody to be like, you guys were wrong, so they'll just keep doing the wrong thing until people die. And it's not good. This reminds me that there's a Catholic cardinal that got COVID. I just read about that. Who was an anti-vaxxer. And apparently not being very careful. Just thinking, the good Lord take care of him. Well, the good Lord helps those who help themselves. Remember that part? The Ace of Pentacles. Let me tell you something. We will reach a point where we have enough people vaccinated that we will not have as big of a problem. It's not going away. Not yet. And the Ace of Pentacles, as these people dying is going, especially the children, is going to get more people vaccinated. So we will get to 75%. I see 80%. I see 80%. That seems really high, but I see 80% by the end of the year of people vaccinated. Now, people are wondering about the next variant that's coming, Lambda or something like that. I think it's a Greek letter. And it's bad. It's bad. The next variant coming is bad. However, I feel like with as many people vaccinated as will be by the time that next variant comes, the Lambda, that it won't be as bad as it could. It won't be as bad as it could. It actually won't be. Delta is the most vicious of the viruses, of the variants. I really do feel that in terms of its transmissibility and its effects on the human system. But Lambda's bad, but not as bad as a Delta. And I think that's just that I see that it's not going to have as big of an impact as a Delta has because more people will be vaccinated. I think Lambda is pretty bad. The guys just told me to talk about the hurricanes. Okay. I'm getting the number 8. I'm seeing 8 hurricanes that are damaging. Starting the end of this month, going well into October. Batten down the hatches, as we say here on the coast. And let's see. So I want to ask about hurricanes. I think Hurricane Fred, maybe? That's the name of it, in Florida. Turned into a tropical storm, but that's not a walk in the park. Tropical storms are pretty rough. Yes, this is the Five of Pentacles. Now, the good news is there's going to be disasters, but because the infrastructure bill is going to pass, there's something in there for the disaster relief. So this is fascinating because I see 8 pretty big hurricanes this season that are damaging. And I actually see, and I don't know if this is a fact, this is not something I looked up. I actually see funding helping the victims of these natural disasters that's never really been there since like Katrina. All right, now I feel better about Biden. The Princess of Wands, this card has been coming up every single reading. I believe it has. A lot of princesses. And every time a princess like this comes up, or a queen, I feel the power of the feminine. I feel more female leadership than ever before in history. And when you think about governments, the ones that don't have any women, like Afghanistan and government, especially not now, are a freaking mess. Guys, you need us. You need the women. Can I get a witness? Okay, so hurricanes, COVID. I'm gonna pull 3 more cards about the hurricanes. About hurricanes, and then we're gonna go to earthquakes. Okay, the hurricanes. People need to not be foolish. This is gonna wake people up to the need for climate change measures. We're gonna start working together. There will be a lot of loss. This is the time of great loss. There will be a lot of loss from hurricanes this year. And we can't be foolish. This is going to wake up the fool to make the right decisions. I see mass transit as part of the infrastructure bill that's going to make a big impact. Like, in about 5 years' time, it's going to be cool to not own a car. Yeah, I really just said that. That's interesting. All right. Shall we go to 45? See what's going on there? Since the withdrawal of troops happened, then we kind of lost sight of what's happening with 45. I see voting rights being saved. I know I just went from 45 to voting rights, but let's look at what's happening with 45. Well, how's he doing right now? Disheveled. The guy's just saying 45 is disheveled. Not surprising. Disheveled. It's an interesting word. It's like, you know, shirt tail hanging out, frumpy, not much self-care. I think that's a sign of dementia. Okay, so this is about 45. Justice. In a weird way, September 11th being right around the corner, and it's not a direct connect. September 11th being right around the corner, and what's going on in Afghanistan in full living color, and the behavior of the insurrectionists staging a coup. Look at the parallels. The Taliban in the presidential palace taking over the presidential palace. The 1-6 insurrectionists taking over the Capitol. We're starting to wake up to the need for justice. Big time. This is actually, seeing the Taliban in action is actually waking people up. So here's the Queen of Wands. There's a queen again. They just keep coming up. Female power. We're talking about 45. He's going to get thrown under the bus. The people that want to work against him are coming together. That's a Lover card. There's conspiring to gang up on 45 to get him prosecuted, is a word that came. It's coming together. It's coming together. It is. Shall we look at You know, I want to look at Haiti. Let's just take a few cards and look at Haiti. I did say that on Saturday when I picked up on the earthquake energy, I felt like there was more earthquakes coming to Haiti. I also see an earthquake in Puerto Rico coming. Sorry, I wish I had control over these things. We all do. But it's waking us up. It's waking us up to the need to look out for each other. So we gotta get there. We definitely gotta get there. So we're gonna look at Haiti, the earthquakes. I said plural. I just said plural. The earthquakes in Haiti. Well, Queen of Swords, King of Cups, Ace of Swords. We're going to help them. Haiti has help coming. Haiti has help coming. I kind of feel like this is a disassembling of the old to make way for the new. So even though I feel more earthquakes in Haiti, I feel like people are going to start helping. I really do. I feel like other countries are going to start helping. So, you know what, there's a common theme here, and I keep on seeing more of the international community coming together, reaching out and helping. That's a good thing, not a bad thing, right? That full moon in Aquarius might bring on Sunday, might bring some more earthquakes. I really do feel that. I'm going to pick 2 cards about that. Oh, the Empress and the 3 of Wands. I feel more earthquakes, but they're going to be a little bit more, they're going to be a little less destructive. There's going to be more, like, people are going to be ready. The Empress is coming up. The Empress is coming up to show us that we will be taken care of. As we get on the page, believe me, it's true. As we get more on the page of looking out for each other, it's almost like the universe helps us if we, what do they say? The Lord helps those who help themselves. Once we start helping one another, it kind of sets a momentum going, and we see it working, and then we are inspired to do more and more helping. So that's good. I see like National Guard or something going into Haiti to help out. So I haven't seen that on the news, but I'm picking that up. Let's look at DeSantis and see what's going on with him. He's getting his own reading. DeSantis is getting his own reading. Oh my God, that guy is he's like up here in a daze, just following the money. It's almost like DeSantis is hypnotized by money. He's got a rude awakening coming. He really does. He really does. And I'm tying him into gates too. I think I said that before. This is DeSantis. He's looking down and he's going, I shouldn't have denied the COVID problem. Maybe that was a bad idea. You think? Makes me so angry. This is the woman that's going to throw DeSantis under the bus. I'm not sure who that is. Women all over the place. The Queen of Pentacles. Some female, I think I said this the other day, there's a female that has dirt on DeSantis. Who might that be? I feel like that's somebody who knew about some illicit affair or something. And when I think of DeSantis, I pick up an illicit affair. I really do. And one more thing before we go. The wildfires, are they gonna come down? Let's see. I do see actually that there's gonna be some rain on the West Coast. Is that going to be, the guys are saying within 3 weeks time, we're going to see some rain. So we'll see a dampening of the wildfires. We got to pray for them too. We got to just be praying all around the clock. Pray without ceasing, right? It says that somewhere in the Bible. I'm sorry if you're not into all that, but it's just a quote. Well, I see the 7 of Wands. They're still fighting the fires. The Chariot means they're going as fast as they can fighting those fires. And the King of Pentacles is there's going to be financial aid going to help the fires. The firefighters are going to start being paid more, and that's going to make a difference. And I see more money going into fighting the fires. I'm wondering if this is all connected to the infrastructure package. Because I'm picking up two things, and you know that infrastructure bill is like 2,700 pages. So I'm picking up more aid for disaster relief, like substantially. And that includes relief for the wildfires. Just like in terms of equipment and money being thrown at those fires to put them out. So there we have it. I think that's good for tonight. It's AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Please send me an email if you'd like to say hello or book a reading. I have time this week if you'd like to book a psychic tarot card reading for yourself. I'm also a spiritual life coach if you need some help breaking through some issues. I've seen people transform right before my eyes, so that's really fun. And I'll probably be back on Thursday. Wait. No, maybe Wednesday. Have a great evening, and thank you for your kind comments. Namaste. See you soon.